Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for the element of fire for November of 2025, and this is the bonus reading. Fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So if you are Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or have fire high up in your chart, I cannot talk today, then this reading is for you. If you've never had your charts read, there is a link in the description to a natal chart from Llewellyn. It's a really good tool. It's not like sponsored or anything like that. It's just something that makes a quick link so you can go find it. And it gives you your base 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols, and then there's a 10 to 20 pages of a description, and one of the little sections in there is actually on your elemental alignment. So that's kind of a fun way to get introduced to the zodiac, because you can read through all the rest of it, and there's a lot of good information, but by the end you're confused, and then there's this little paragraph or two, depending on what your alignment is, that describes, like, in general terms what all that means, which to me was super helpful when I first started into understanding what those birth charts meant. The way I like to do the monthly readings is we look at the bonus readings is we do the Celtic cross, a couple little adaptations that I've made to it, and just kind of get an idea of what's going on in and around you in the moment. And then at the end we'll pull a couple of oracle cards and get a little more clarity from things. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and if you see something different with the cards, because I read intuitively, feel free to drop those in the comments down below. It's always interesting to hear what other people's intuition brings up. So with that, we'll get started. And Fire, your significator is number 20, the Judgment card. And this is actually a really positive card when you realize what all it stands for. This is actually a call for discernment. It's not just judging as in, oh, I cannot believe you wore that today. It's more of saying, this is what I feel is right and this is what I feel is wrong, because by the time you've reached 20 in the major arcana, you've went through some things. You've achieved a great deal, and this allows you to be able to pick the lesser of evils, or to pick the best possible good outcome. And what this is saying is, in this moment, this snapshot of time here, for your significator, this is you. You're the one up here. You're the one everyone's looking to for an answer, because you're the one who's been through it. You've already experienced this. So in one aspect, Fire, you're going to be the center of attention, but it's not going to be something that you've chosen. It's because of how much you have worked, the things that you have done along the way, that has brought you to this point where you're the one everyone goes to, because you're the most logical results to the questions that they have, because you've already been through so much. And that allows you to discern when someone's giving you a pile of horse hockey versus someone who's actually being genuine in their needs or responses. So you're starting off with quite a powerful statement here, because you're the one who holds the balance. That's powerful. Your second, or the energy that's crossing you, this is like an obstacle, is the Empress, number 3 of the major arcana. 2 major arcanas right off the bat. Fire, you're making some waves. And with this being in an obstacle form, Fire is very masculine, very male energy focused, very much about the god energy. This is more the subconscious mind, the feminine energy. Fire is solar, Empress is lunar, so you're dealing with your opposite here. So there could be a little bit of pushback from someone who is possibly a water sign, could be someone who is significantly more emotional in their thinking or actions. But Fire, that's where that discernment is your greatest skill and gift this week, that Judgment energy, or this month. And when we look at the Empress coming in, she's offering a version of success, but it's not success that you're comfortable with. It's not success in the way that your path has led you down. So this is really about making sure you're picking the right path for the right reason, not just because some talking head somewhere said, this is the best possible. If your intuition is telling you no, push that back because that's what this is really coming up for. Your challenge is this other energy, this more subtle energy. Could be feminine, that's Empress energy, but it could also just be something more subconscious, like you might have a war with your subconscious mind as you're going forward here. But you're coming out on top because you have the gift of discernment. So your higher self energy is the Two of Cups, and this really is showing that your higher self, your highest aspect of who you are, is really wanting to befriend you. They really want to work with you on this. So you have this very positive energy coming in to say, yes, sometimes the subtleties of the divine feminine can be a little mysterious and confusing, but let's work through this. Let's help you out here. Your higher self energy is the Two of Cups. In some cases, this could be a best friend, it could be a soulmate, not so much a sexual mate, and it could be a partner as well, like a romantic partner. There's a lot of different connotations that come up with this, but it's really saying that you are in union with your higher self. So your higher self and you are communicating very healthy right now, which is strong because with Judgment and the discernment energy, it's saying you may have a challenge right now that you have to sort, and you've got the support to be able to manifest through this, or at least figure out who's in the right and who's in the wrong and pick the better choice. Your lower self, your shadow energy, is the Six of Cups. So it definitely has a shadow in the back. This is where don't celebrate too quickly is what I'm getting here. There's a lot of positive things that you and your higher self are working on. Remember, you have that other energy that's crossing you. So with the Six of Cups, it's saying now is not the time for full celebration because we don't know what's going on in the background here. So be grateful for the successes you've had. Be ready to keep moving forward as you experience. But be aware that there's more at play than what you may be seeing. And that's that subtlety, that's that feminine mystique that's coming in as a crossing energy for you. There's something underlying what you're doing that you're not quite picking up just yet. You will. I'm getting that impression right now. You will figure it out. But don't celebrate too quickly. That's the aspect that's coming up here. So your immediate history, last 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is number 16. I'm terrible with Roman numerals. The Tower. And with the Tower, this is creative destruction. You've had to go through a period of completely reforming who you are. It could have been a destruction because of a like spiritual teaching that you had to unravel and rebuild from. It could have been a work situation where, you know, like the company closed and then you had to figure out who you were again. This is saying in the last 1 month, 6 months, or a year, you have literally pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. You have turned into your phoenix aspect of fire and reborn from your own ashes. Creative destruction is what has happened. The destruction led you to create something new, something better. But that's what brought you to Judgment. That's what brought you to discernment. And right now you've got 3 major arcanas on your at play here, saying your spiritual journey has taken a massive shift into overdrive, basically, and you're no longer dealing with just the petty everyday lessons. We're looking at some big spiritual themes. And so with the Tower in your immediate history, you've had to rebuild because of other people's actions, is what I'm hearing. You didn't step into the pit, they shoved you into it, but you came out on fire. You came out in full power of your over the fire energy, saying, we're not doing this anymore. I can now see who's right and who's wrong. I know who's going to be beneficial in my life and who isn't. And that's where you're standing right now, is you've had to deal with it, and you can deal with it because of other people's actions leading you to this point. So your immediate future, good grief, is number 9, the Hermit. Your future may be a little bit of a quiet one, because of things you've overcome, working with your higher self, realizing that you have to pick the right time to be celebratory and who to have around you when you do that. The Hermit may be showing you a little bit more of an isolated experience going forward. This is immediate future, 1 month, 6 months to a year. It's not saying lonely, though. The Hermit's never alone. The Hermit is selective about who he interacts with, he or she. And when we look at the Hermit, it's also about introspection. Look at how far you have come to achieve what you have achieved. But see, the Hermit also has mastery of the subconscious. And remember, your crossing energy is the queen of the unconscious. She's the Empress. So you've mastered that. And you're now in a state to be able to use it as a tool to help you move forward. Everything that you've had to deal with, Fire, from the past, it's actually activated your higher self, which now is working in conjunction with you. Very much a positive communion here. And your shadow is saying, you're not done yet. We don't know what else is going on here. We don't know what's at play. This is the moment, which is leading to the future where you have mastery over that aspect, whatever that may be for you. For some people, it could be some kind of a feminine influence in their life. For others, it could be a subconscious pattern that has to be broken. And others, it could be just waking up their intuition and their psychic abilities, which is not the most easy thing to do sometimes. But when you reach the Hermit, you're able to step away from the chaos because you already know what's going on. You see what's happening. And because of the Judgment card, you don't need the rest of it. You can literally filter it all out, and you can stand on your own 2 feet. Successful, but quiet about it, which is kind of cool. So where are we at? Inner attitude. This is basically how your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are playing out in this moment. Is number 4, the Emperor. This is the energy of the divine masculine. This is the energy of God himself. Your inner world is mastering things. It's not about, oh, how's this going to fix? You're saying, how can I solve this? How can I make this better? Your inner world is really you stepping into your power as a fire energy. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Leo is a born leader. Leo and the Emperor are really good friends. And so you've got this energy of leadership within you. You have this ability to grow and take command when you need to, because he's not destroying the city, he's guiding it. He knows when to act and when to step back. This is where your inner world is coming into play, especially with that Judgment card, because you now have the discernment to know when to act and when not to. So your inner world, your inner attitude, personality, the thoughts running through your head are really very supportive and very stable right now, because you know what you're capable of, but you also know that's not necessary to be at war all the time either. So that's huge. Now we're looking at the environment around you. This is stuff that's outside your control, but in your immediate vicinity. And we have the High Priestess. Okay, fire. And this has nothing to do with men or women. I'm talking about elemental energies and divine energies. The divine feminine is really going to be pushing you this month. It could be just for growth, but you definitely have, they've got it. They're not really after you, but they're going to be picking a little bit, because your outside environment is the High Priestess, which is the voice of the Mother Goddess. This is the energy that comes in and speaks for the divine feminine. But you're standing between the pillars of severity and beauty. So you're standing in the blessing of a gateway. What's on the other side? This is really a call also to your subconscious mind. It does mean success in a lot of ways. It does mean that you're going in the right direction. But just like Ishtar, when she went into the gates of hell to her sister Inanna and coming back out, she had to strip herself bare through the 7 gates to return in her power. And that's what is being called for you, is you may have to it may end up feeling like you have lost something this month. But the reality is you're removing the unpleasant part of it, basically the unclean part, and it's being returned to you polished and shining. So yes, you are going to be having some challenges here, but you're going to come out on the other side farther ahead than you possibly could imagine. And so be aware that just because something is an emotional experience, something might be waking up an aspect of your subconscious, or it could be a feminine aspect that's coming up that is pushing back, it doesn't mean war. It means pay attention. What's going on? There could be a lesson here. So your hopes and fears are the 7 of Pentacles. You have a lot of blue in this set. Sorry, I just looked up and it's like water everywhere, and this is for fire. Your hopes and fears is the 7 of Pentacles. This is really, your hope is success. Your hope is that you'll be able to pull everything off and everything will work together. But there's a fear of what if, which it usually is. What if I don't succeed? What if I can't climb as high as I would like to? What if these are illusions? What if the success that I've been hunting for is really not that big of, it's not success. It's actually like rocks, which could be fun too. But your hope is that you're moving in the right direction, and that's where the Judgment card is so powerful, because you know you're heading in the right direction. You might have to overcome some of those subconscious thoughts, that little voice in the back of your head nonsense that's like, do you really think you deserve that promotion? Do you really think you deserve? That person would never date you. Tell that person that's sitting in the back of your head yapping to go play with blocks somewhere, because the Seven of Pentacles also means if you can overcome that fear, the success is going to reveal itself relatively quickly, is what I'm hearing. So your final outcome here, Fire, there's just a lot of leadership that I'm seeing coming in. Like, you are in a position to step into leadership, so that's pretty cool. We have the Six of Swords. You're kind of flying above everything, but remember, right up here in the back, there's a reason that you're doing what you're doing. It's not just about you. You're actually protecting, it could be a child, you could be setting things up for success with that young one, or it could be that you're mentoring someone and you're showing them the ropes. You know how to go to battle because you've already done it, well, according to this, 6 times. But it doesn't mean you have to. Sometimes being the one guiding the ship means knowing when to avoid the conflicts. And you this month, Fire, are really stepping into this ability to balance, because you have a lot of water energy, you have a little bit of fire, but it's all pointing to wisdom. It's all pointing to knowledge plus experience is wisdom. Knowing when to fight, when to walk away, the old Gambler song. And if you haven't listened to that, go check it out. I love Kenny Rogers' old stuff. But this is the energy that's coming up here. Is this month is going to be a little bit of a challenge for our Fire family, but it's a challenge that you actually have been waiting for. It's actually, I'm feeling it's going to stimulate you to greater and greater heights. Like, you're able to move beyond what you thought you were able to accomplish. And the underlying theme here is the Death card. It's time to release the past. That no longer serves you. You're moving into a state where that past life, that past job, that past relationship, whatever it was that you've let go of about a year ago is what I'm hearing. Whatever that was, it's time to let it go completely. Let it die, because you're being reborn. Everything that played out in this reading here is you being reborn from your ashes. It's time to let go emotionally and mentally of that past. You're always going to hold those lessons, so you're never getting rid of that. But you don't need to carry the rest of it with you. Put your burden down, because where you're headed is a position really about leadership and guidance. So it could, like I said, it could be that you're mentoring someone at work, or it could be that you have a child that you're taking care of. Either way, Fire, you're moving in the right direction. It's just, there may be some stumbling blocks along the way, but it's because they need to test you. They want to make sure you're ready for leadership. They want to make sure God, Source Divine, wants to make sure you are prepared for things that come up in life in general. So, with that, we'll hop over here to our Oracle cards. And I'm using the Shaman's Dream Oracle. So if you see something different, feel free to comment down below, and we'll get started. And if you want to ask a question before I continue, push pause, listen to the ask your question to Spirit, and then we'll see what comes up with the answers. With that, we'll get started here. Your first card is number 35, the Lost Compass, getting back to integrity. So, Fire, in your past, in the last, again, they're going back to about a year, so who knows. In the last year, it felt like you've lost your way. That you have been almost ready to compromise your morals or your ethics to move beyond this, just to get over it, just to get away from it. But the energy that I'm hearing with this one is, that's not you. Your integrity, which is, doing the right thing when no one else is looking, is the most important thing to you. So you don't want to do that. It's what other people have been pushing. And the lost compass is really your inner guidance, your inner world, your conscious, your Jiminy Cricket, if you will. And that's what that challenge energy is bringing up. Is it's a challenge to really accept your intuition sometimes, because especially when you're working with divine masculine energy, they're intuitive, but not about the subtle things. It's usually about, someone's behind you or whatever. But this energy is really about understanding that maybe people who are trying to give you good advice were actually trying to steer you off course. And that's something that is a little bit shocking and a little bit almost like a slap in the face when you start to realize that maybe that person didn't have the best advice for you. And that's this lost compass, is it woke up that part of you and like, wait, that's the opposite direction of where I'm headed. What are you doing? What are you talking about? So this is actually a good indicator that you're turning the right direction, or you've pushed aside that person and there's a reason for it. Your second card is number 36, lost in space and needing direction. Fire, the direction that you want to go is the direction that your heart is calling you to. You're working with very powerful energy with your higher self. It's that Two of Cups. Remember the bonding, that communion, that soulmate type stuff. So you've got somebody in the physical or in the spiritual who are very much ready to help you find your direction. But you've got lost compass and then follow it with lost in space. You're feeling like you don't know where you're going. You don't know which direction to turn. And that's where the discernment comes in. But that's also where that intuitive guidance can be a very strong blessing. So learning to flex that intuitive muscle this month is going to be a huge benefit for you, because you're not really lost. That's the illusion that that's being projected upon you. Oh, you quit your job 6 months. I can't even believe you still don't even know what you're doing. Seriously, Fire? You've been doing the other jobs since then. They just don't think it was a good idea that you left the last one. They don't realize how toxic that place was. So this is the kind of energy that they're talking about, is you're not really lost. It's the illusion that is being pushed upon you. So follow your inner voice and your inner guidance. And if you have that one or two people who are really close to you and they're the ones that are the most honest with you, those are the ones you want to pay attention to. So your last card is number 40 with mindful, or group think. Surround yourself with people who have the same goal-oriented mindset that you do, Fire. You're on a mission for success. You have the ability to tell which is the best path. Find people who are on a similar journey and surround yourself with them. Allow yourself to merge with the group think for the best possible outcome. Don't just join into a group because, well, it sounds like they're having fun. Don't do that. You want people who are going to challenge you healthily, making sure that you're on the right path, right journey, because when you are challenged in that way, you both grow. Steel sharpens steel. And Fire, this is your call for your struggles to help sharpen someone else's, or you're able to bounce off of what they're saying and you amplify the energy back and forth. It allows you to grow. It allows you to expand. Overall this month, Fire, your bonus reading is looking really positive. There's definitely some things going on underneath that you might need to be paying attention to, or at least be aware that there's things moving underneath the surface here. But your overall outcome is all about guiding and protecting the next generation, whether it's an apprentice, whether it's your child, whatever it is. It's about you stepping into that leadership role. And when you do that, you start to find your course again. You start to quit feeling lost. Those are illusions. And it allows you to actually surround yourself with the groups of people who are on a similar journey. No one walks the same path. But if you and your friends are all going towards the same goal of entrepreneurship, or the family farm type thing, and you all have similar ideas, you can bounce ideas off each other and you can actually move everyone into success. But Fire, it's going to start with you. You're the leader that's going to pull out ahead of everyone else, and they're going to be supporting you along the way. So with that, I will let you guys and gals go. Have a great month of November, and I will see you in the next video.